Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome into Mr. Rowley. Yo, yo, yo. Bill Brashears. Good evening. And to everyone else that's hopping on, it is absolutely fabulous to see you join us live this evening, live from Kingsport, Tennessee. My name is John DeMuth. As most of you all know, my beautiful wife is over here. Her name is Katie, and we are here to
Hi.
entertain, to teach, to learn you, and to hang out with you for next hour or so and talk about fishing, flies. What's up, Dan and Mark? And Ken B, good day to you. I'm pretty excited because I actually remembered, and for all the people who are official supporters and promoters. We went live before the show and just kind of broke in the going live thing. So if you want to join in on more of a intimate setting, which really just means less prepared, and but the guys that hopped on were able to see a little more about the tying area, and we showed off not showed off, but we showed our spot that we shoot live from and tie. Tom, Mary Catherine, West Virginia Rick, Mike Nay, Michael Ragsdale, top of the evening to you, and Helena in Troy.
And Mary Catherine from Virginia.
Mary Catherine from Virginia. Goodness gracious. If I keep saying hello to everyone.
That's a great name, by the way. Mary Catherine.
Yes, it is.
I'm also Catherine.
Yes, you are.
But I get called,
all sorts of things.
Kate, Katie. I get all those stuff.
Yeah. What's up, Mr. Turner? We need to get up your way and fish sometime soon, maybe after the Denver show. So Katie and I will be in Denver, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. So our next live show next Wednesday night, we're kind of going back and forth on it because we'll have to get up about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to do that.
And we're going to do a giveaway tonight.
And we are going to do a giveaway. So I want to talk about the fly we're going to tie, and then maybe we'll tie one. And then Katie's going to show all the pictures of the stragulators that you all submitted. And the way to submit flies to be featured on the show is either tag us in the photograph on Instagram, which is Demuth Fly Fishing, Demuth_Fly Fishing on Instagram, or you may email the pictures to us at demuthflyfishing@gmail.com.
I'm guessing Mary Catherine is MK Fly Girl.
MK Fly Girl?
I think so. Mary Catherine, is that correct? You just give me a thumbs up.
Did she just post?
Yeah.
One?
So I'm going to be sure that I get hers. I'm getting it on here.
Well, you'll have to put it. Everyone who submitted, we have your name in a cup here.
We'll have to add hers
for a little drawing, and that's what we're going to do here in just a few minutes. We'll show all the pictures, and then if we miss someone, let us know so we can put your name in the cup. So the fly we're going to tie tonight is none other than Lance Egan's Rainbow Warrior. If you've been hiding under a rock for a while, you might not know what this is. If you're new to fly fishing and you don't know, then this is definitely a fly you need in your box. This is a really easy fly to tie. The hardest thing is getting your tail, and under the macro lens here, my tail looks a touch long, but getting your tail short. But other than that, it's a darn easy tie. It's very durable unless you put nippers on it, or nippers. Probably nippers wouldn't be good for the fly or the nippers, but put some hemostats on it and try to jerk it out of a fish's mouth. That's not great on it, but if you pinch the barb and it comes right out, this fly will last quite a while. And I thought it was kind of funny because today, and I'll show my fly box here in a minute, one of the flies we posted today was this one right here. And the tippet didn't come through on it, but this is one that I've fished who knows how many times. But this is when it's been chewed on a little bit, this is what it looks like. So still looks like a good fly, still works great, but still has the tippet on there from when I fished it before. Are we going to tie in a 24? Probably down to not 24.
Maybe not quite that small.
How is the
tail still perfect?
I don't know. It is. but you can see that tail's a little bit shorter than the one I just showed. So so let's go to the box. Let's switch over to the side view here. So here's my working fly box. And this is one that when I went to shows, I used to tie flies as perked as I could to bring to shows. And now I just bring my fly boxes. This is my Euro box or my weighted nymph box. And here's my line of Rainbow Warriors here. And I probably pull a little bit closer. Here we go. I probably throw a size 16 the most, followed by 18 and then 14s. But those are the different sizes. And to Dan, I believe I usually don't tie them small. This particular pattern is smaller than a 18, although I probably should go down to 2487, tie them in 18 or 20, 22. But I just go down to 18. And if you notice, most of the flies that you see are on jig hooks, and this is on just a regular old scud hook. And the reason, and switch back over to moi, please, ma'am. The reason that I tie these on a scud hook is, Jeff, you're correct. We could probably tie this on a 1/0, and it probably work just fine. But the reason I tie them on a scud hook is because when I'm Euro nymphing or dredging the bottom anyway, I can figure out how to do it. I've got a jig hook on the bottom. This is my tag nymph. So if I'm doing a dry dropper, usually that dropper is not on the very bottom. But when I'm Euro nymphing and I've got that bottom fly that's a jig, that's the one that's really towards the bottom. And I've got the tag fly is a scud or a curved shanked hook. But just for the fun of it, while we're alive earlier, I tied this one. And here is, let's switch over to the hook or the hook, please. Please, ma'am. So I tied this one. This is the exact same thing. The only difference is it's on a size 14, a big boy jig hook. So 3.5 millimeter bead, same thing. And I tied this because I've got some other variations of this fly without the dubbing that I fished before, and they work good. So I thought I'd just try, maybe tie a couple and fish these, see how they work. But like looking at it right now under the microscope, it seems like my tail might be a little bit thick, but I think it'll be just fine. So let's get started. So we'll get halfway through this one, then you can show the pictures. That'd be okay, honey?
Yeah.
So the hook I'm going to use is the Tiemco 2457 in a size 16 right here. And I'm going to tie a couple in 16 and probably one in 18. And then we might switch over and do something a little different. And guess what, guys? I did something I don't ever do. If you look right above my scissors here, I have prepped in my nice little lid rig magnet here. I prepped some. This is me bulk tying. I have 4 total hooks prepped and ready. Oh, I crack myself up sometimes. All right, so for the standard pattern, we're going to use a size 16 2457 with a 2.3 millimeter countersunk silver or nickel bead, and I'm using the new fluorescent bright red Semperfli 12/0 classic wax thread. The mag pad, that is correct. Sally Hansen. Well, don't go anywhere without old Sally. She has been good to me. So I don't build much of a taper on these. I will slightly, and you'll see me kind of doing it a little bit, but I'm just doing a nice little thread, touching wrap thread body all the way down. Then we'll let our thread hang. And now I'm going to get some fiber, some pheasant tail. So I've got some pheasant tail here. I'm going to pull off, I think Lance officially says 6 to 8, but I used to do these with like 3, but since he says go more, I'm going to go more. The real problem is when you get the tail that's so short, So my butt ends are lined up here. Push my butt ends together. Get the tail that's so short. Once you get to the very tips of these things, they're really, 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 really fine. So you don't, if you do 2 or 3, then they really don't stand out. So this is the hardest part about this fly, and that's getting your tail short enough. So the easiest way to do that is to set it kind of the way you think it would go. Pinch it, set it down, and do an actual pinch wrap like this and get it there. So if you're like me, you'll usually get it just a touch on the long side. So we're going to pull them a little bit shorter. And now we're going to bring our thread up. So try not to overlap your thread wraps. If there's a gap, that's fine. Don't worry about gaps. So now I've got my tail in, body up. I can hold my thread tight, grab my pheasant tail, pop it off, and we're good. So what's up, Dr. Jason D. Stevenson? Is it Stevenson or Stephenson? Bring my thread back just a touch. And now I'm going to use, okay, let's switch back over to the material prep. Because I probably, just for the fun of it, I misplaced my tinsel, because that makes it a lot more fun when I can't find stuff. Even though I'm not like, Katie, where is it?
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yes, I know you were. So the reason I said let's go over to the, so Stevenson, great. So this is, now Lance, this is totally my, I won't say my mistake, but when I first started tying these, I didn't have Vivus pearl tinsel. I had saltwater Mirage Flashabou, and it worked phenomenally well. I have since gotten pearl tinsel in large size, but I continue to tie it with the Mirage tinsel because the Mirage, I feel like it's got, the good thing is it has more color. The bad thing is it is a little bit more, it's a little less opaque, I guess. So the thread color doesn't come through quite as much.
Can you show it up there really close? Like
okay.
Nice. Yeah.
So here's the tinsel that I'm using, and we're using the large size, and I always use large down to 18. And I guess you can do it even smaller, but, and here's the actual thing I'm using. But I use saltwater Flashabou and Mirage, and that's the thick stuff. And it worked really well. So the reason I said switch over to this side is usually I get this little loon vice pond that has a bead stuck on it.
It's a magnet.
Somewhere. And yeah.
It's just a magnet. There's no other than that.
I've got my materials stored there, but obviously I didn't do it that time. So we're going to get our material and hold it here really. Oh, shucks. Let's get this. Let's give it 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. So just take the material and I'm going to hold it here right like that with my fingernail. I take my thread and I capture it on top of the hook shank, and I'm going to go back to the front. Now this is where I'm saying I'm building a little bit of taper, not much. I want to make sure my thread is nice and flat. So I'm going to spin it around until it gets good and flat. We're going to bring it back. And don't worry too much about them being perfectly touching wraps. Do one more. That should be good. But when we go back up, we want to make sure we cover up all the little spots there, because we want the underbody to be completely red. As you can see, it is there. And if you wanted to, put that back in my material clip. Hooray! Can make it in about an hour. Well, I'm by no means a production tire, but if I staged everything and did everything just right and was concentrating, I'd probably do, I don't know, maybe 10 an hour. No, more than that. 15 or 20 probably. I would think 2 or 3 minutes a fly. If I was actually, what's up, Truman? Everyone say hey to Truman. Haven't seen him hopping on and jumping on, been busy with work and everything. But yeah, I would say 2 or 3 minutes a fly. If you had everything laid out and you weren't searching for stuff like you don't lose your tinsel. And really the nice thing about doing the same thing over and over again is you start getting more consistent and your flies look a little better. And not that they look better, it's just when you put 20 of them in a row, they all look cool. It looks a lot better than 2. But unfortunately, if I tied 20 size 16s, that'll last me a couple of years. So I think I've already tied half a dozen. So I'll probably tie 3 or 4 more this evening, and that'll have me set for another 6 months or so, 3 or 4 months. Because you can see when I tie these, I use them again and use them over and over again. These are really durable flies. So we'll when the tinsel's facing me, I pull it snug. Then make that first wrap right in front of that tail, and make sure you don't hit that tinsel with the hook point, because if you do, that will you'll cut your tinsel. It's no good. So do you see that little bit of a line? Let's see if I can point it out with my bodkin. Right about here. See that line? Shoot, right there. So that's what I'm gonna look for when I'm making my next wrap. So I bring it over and pull it tight. So you can see I've got that line right here. So what I'm doing is I'm overlapping by 50% my previous wrap, just like this. And that makes this fly really durable. And right here is where I pull. So it's kind of loose. Pull. Pull. So we got it all the way up. See the nice little segmentation there? It's not really supposed to be segmentation, but kind of looks like it anyway. I'm going to capture it at the top of the hook shank there, right by the bead. 3 wraps. I'll pull it back on itself, and I start building a little bit of a collar here. Now here's where I want to look and see how far back I want my dubbing to go. And that's about good right there. I want my dubbing to be roughly the thickness of the bead, roughly. Henry, if y'all don't know, Henry is Truman's dog. So the next magical material is Wapsi's Sow Scud Dub, right here. If you don't have any, get some, because this makes this fly. Otherwise, if you got something else, it wouldn't be rainbow. It wouldn't be a rainbow warrior. It'd be something else warrior. So I got, just like before, got my corner cut out of the bag right here. Pull it out. This doesn't like pull out quite as well. So sometimes I got to use tweezers to get it going. Sometimes I use my bodkin to get it going. But you just get it coming out the side, pull it out. That saves a lot of time right there, not having to open and close the Ziploc bag every time. So I've got my wisp of dubbing here. And remember, we don't want a big fat noodle. We want a longer, thinner noodle. Slide it up. And so that is, it's pretty thin, but that's about a 2-inch noodle right there. The nice thing is having this little ruler, I can actually tell you exactly how long it is. And when you're doing a bunch of them, you know exactly how much you got last time. If you did too much, fine. If you need to get more for the next one, that's fine too. So I've got it started here. Bring it back and forth. A nice little ball. And that's a little bit much. So pull this off. Tighten that back up. Pull that long guard hair out. Those sow scuds that they harvest this dubbing from, they can be mean little buggers, the guard hair. So I take my tinsel, pull it forward, pull this tinsel tight, 1, 2, 3. See, we got a little wing case there. Pull it back. We'll pull all this stuff back. Now we'll nick this right there. Uncord my thread. Just some sourwood honey. Nice. You got to bring enough for the class to share, Truman. Can't be talking that like good stuff and not share. And this should leave just a little bit of a red hot spot in between that dubbing and the bead. And that is pretty much it. Now, some of those are a little bit long, so I'll probably cut those out. But if you notice on the one that I'd already fished, the dubbing gets pushed back pretty far, or not pushed out, but it gets kind of ragged out a little bit, and it still works great. It still does really well. So that is a size 16 Rainbow Warrior right there. And I would say, looking at that, that's pretty much just about right. Maybe my dubbing is maybe a touch thick, but that's about right. The mistakes I see people make, number one is the tail's too long. Number two is they'll have way too much dubbing in the front. And that's about it. Yep. So Katie, you want to share some pictures of some strangulators?
I would love to.
Here we go.
So this week we have a drawing for some prizes, including the Whiting Farms hackle gauge, which this one is a really pretty blue color, and a few other things. Beanie and some stickers and an Aerex air freshener and some other fun stuff. And so John's going to draw for that in just a minute, and I'm going to share our entries. And here is Billy Bugs flies, and this is from the Strangulator last week. And Josh Riston, fancy. Jimmy Roop, I like the body on that one, the color. Dave Hall, the duo. And Jay Wilson, another duo. Maryland Trout Bum, very nice.
I remember meeting Maryland Trout Bum at one of the fly shows, or a couple of the fly shows. And I said, "Oh, you must be the doctor." He said, "No, I'm from Maryland." I'm like, "MD Trout Bum?" Oh, I get it now. Not MD.
Yeah. Oh, and Ken, I tried to clean this up a little bit so that we could see it, but it was a tad blurry. But that one's Ken's. And Barry, yours was a little blurry, but I did clean that up a little. And Mark, Chasing Feathers.
Mark Holcomb.
Good one. And the last entry we got tonight, another a little bit blurry. And that one was Mary Catherine, MK Fly Girl. So if I didn't get your picture, I'm really sorry. Hopefully you'll make it into the next drawing, but I really tried to make sure that I found everybody who shared one. And here in just a little bit for...
Did you get Barry Dickols?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And if your picture is blurry because you're taking it with your phone, someone asked about that the other week, what to do. And I think I mentioned that they do sell these really inexpensive, like clip-on. It's like a little lens that you clip on over your camera part of your phone. And it's like a macro lens that will magnify your picture, make it a little bit clearer. Other than that, it's not a really big deal to me. You can still tell really well what fly it is that you guys tied. So way to go. And thank you guys so much for sharing your pictures and for giving a try for winning the drawing this week.
All right. So did we miss anyone? Did you submit a strangulator and it did not get featured or shown just now? If we did, speak up now. Otherwise, the whole point of the show is to encourage everyone to get out there and tie flies. If you noticed, if you watched last week and you're looking at the flies that we just showed, some people didn't use all the right materials or the same hook or the same whatever, and that is completely fine, because I didn't see one fly that we looked at just now that wouldn't catch a fish. And the point is just to get behind the vise, tie a fly, put in your box, and maybe bless you, and maybe you'll be out on the water and you'll say, "Oh, this might be a good time to use this fly," and you'll catch a fish with it. So, like I said, if you don't have all the right materials, don't worry about it. If you don't have the exact perfect hook, don't worry about it. Do the best you can. And Ricky Woodson, you submitted using your email listed on Instagram. Did you email it to DeMayFlyFishing@gmail.com, Ricky? Because it should be on the one on Instagram. Should be. Because I don't think I saw that one. If you can send it to me real quick, we'll stick you on there. It's DeMuthFlyFishing@gmail.com. No underscore, no nothing, just DeMuthFlyFishing@gmail.com. Let me know if you send it, and Katie will pull it up. Gary, Mr. Barnes, fancy seeing you here. And I don't remember who asked, but someone asked what flash I'm using. So the long story short on the flash is back when Lance showed us how to tie this, he was using just regular pearl tinsel. I didn't have pearl tinsel at the time. All I had, and this goes back to use what you got, I had some saltwater Mirage Flashabou. And that's what I started tying these with, and they work great. And I didn't really see a need to switch because it worked so well. So what I'm using right now, as opposed to saltwater Mirage Flashabou, is the Saberfly flat Mirage tinsel in 1.5 millimeter. But you want to have the wider, the like large size, the wide flash. It can be pearl, it can be Mirage, it can be just any sort of like a clear color. This flashy, because you want your first wrap to go on, your second wrap to cover it up 50%, and then just kind of stack on each other as it goes up, because as it covers itself up, that's what provides the durability for the fly. Tinsel after Christmas stuff goes on sale, works the best for me. Yep, that's absolutely true. So now one of the things, the different kinds of tinsel you got to watch for is, if you notice when I did my first wrap, I'd pull it as I was going towards myself. Wrap next time, pull it kind of tight. A lot of times the cheaper tinsels, and not really the cheaper tinsels, sometimes the expensive tinsel, you just have to be careful how hard you pull, because sometimes it starts stretching, and you don't want it to stretch and start like turning like a milky color and start like actually deforming and stretching that way. You don't want that. You're just trying to get, when you do that one wrap and pull it tight, you'll see the line where to overlap the last wrap and bring it over and pull it tight. And that tightly wrapped body is going to once again be more durable. Sipping on a dirty Dr. Pepper infused with rum. Ooh, yeah, lots of pearl colors at Michelle's. Cool. All right, so let's switch over. We'll do one more size 16. We're going to do something a little bit different on this one. I said, do fish think the flash is gassy bubbles forming? I definitely love the big water stuff. Sent my pictures. So Ricky sent his pictures. Let's see. Okay, I've got it. Katie, I'm going to forward this to you. Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
Katie. All right, Katie's got it. She'll show these off. Oh, you did do some work. I did not see these. So Ricky, now you have the correct email address. We'll show these, and then we'll do resin thin over the pour tinsel. There was one more question. So I don't know what the fish, and I don't think Lance knows what the fish thinks this is supposed to be. I don't use UV resin on this fly. But I don't know if it's gassy bubbles. I don't know if it's just like the fish like, what the heck is that? Let me give that a taste. Remember, fish don't have fingers or thumbs. So a lot of times when they're grabbing something, they're just kind of curious about it. They're not exactly, maybe they'll eat it, maybe they won't. Maybe they're just like, let me give this a taste, see if I want to swallow this. It looks similar to what I've eaten before, but it's really flashy. You know, as it gets down deep, who knows how the fish see that color. But we all know if you don't want to catch a fish, use this color thread, right? We all know that. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. And this is something that I was going to say I've never done it. I did it about an hour ago, but I've never fished this, so we'll see how it works. But we'll do some field marketing test work on this. Gregor's really, I may have to join you with that next week. Thanks for the chat. Okay, so we're going to pull off another handful of pheasant tail fibers, switch them around. Here's another, like a switch over to the side here. So this is a good tip for you when you're pulling fibers off. So you've seen me say it before, like grab the fibers and pull the feather away, right? So don't pull the fibers, pull the feather away. And then you'll have the butt ends there. They're lined up. And I don't worry about cutting the curlies off. It's fine with me. But if I got to put this on here, they're going the wrong way. So we spent the time, we've got everything lined up. What we don't want to do is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That might be a little bit heavy. So I'll pull these two out. What we don't want to do is misalign our tips here because they're perfectly lined up. So to switch directions, if you'll take your bundle of fibers and put your thumbs together like this, let go, then they're still lined up going the other way. And I can keep doing that back and forth, going the other way. It's just something that is very basic, but if you don't know how to switch the directions of your fiber.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, let me find it on here.
All right, so let's see. Is it working now?
Okay, so I think we're.
Are we back? Are we back on?
You'll let me know if you can hear me.
See, yay, we're back.
We good?
Phew, that was close.
Katie did that without having to totally shut it off and shut it back on. So we are good, right?
Yep.
All right.
Good. If anybody is ever in that position, just go back and reset your stream key.
Reset the stream key.
Yep. That's
why Katie gets paid the big bucks.
Yeah. Just throw money at me. Throw dollar bills at me.
All right. So hopefully I'll be able to see some comments here in just a second. Let's switch over. Thank you, honey. Everyone give Katie a round of applause. Sorry it took so long. I still don't see comments, though. Let me start this over. And okay. So hopefully comments will show up on my end. So we've got, to recap, people were asking as we're locked up what kind of tinsel I'm using. I'm using this flat Mirage tinsel. Long story short, I started tying this with saltwater Mirage Flashabou because that's all I had, and it worked great. So now I use the flat Mirage tinsel, and it works really well. Bill Adams said, "Thank you so much, honey." Or he said, "Thank you, Katie." All right, so because we all know purple doesn't work, we're going to use purple, and that's a big Chris Harris. He always talks about purple not working worth a whiz. So we're going to use purple all the way up, and if you want to, you can build a little bit as long as your thread's nice and thin. A little bit of taper, but it's not necessary. So we'll bring our tinsel around once it's facing me. Pull it tight. First wrap, I go right by that tail. Bring it around, pull it tight. Looking for that halfway mark. Tight. We're going to wrap it up, just overlapping it by 50% each time. Just like that. Bring it around like that. Put a few wraps. Don't do that. Come on, John. These were great. North Idaho. We have dollar coins here, so won't throw. Yeah, well, thank you. So I know you guys never break your thread. I do it on purpose here, just so I can show you what, on the rare occasion when you do break your thread, this is what you need to do. Number one, don't panic. Number two,
don't panic.
We'll just capture it down again, bring it back up, and you guys are like, I just really want to see that awesome wrapping of that Flashaboo again. Purple is fragile. I've never really noticed purple being fragile. I really haven't. But I do break thread on occasion, as you all know. I know what's fragile is when you unknowingly catch your tinsel on your hook point. When you pull it tight again, it it doesn't like that at all. 1, 2, 3, and it really, no matter what color your thread is or what brand it is, it helps when you talk to your thread. It really does. Thread will appreciate you for it. So you can see you've got my tinsel away, so I'm going to bring it back here, my material clip. Got to be careful of that purple. What's the deal with that? Are y'all serious? I've never really noticed the purple being fragile. I was going to mention it last week. I do feel like bleached deer hair sometimes can be a little bit more fragile than other colors of dyed deer hair. But remember how last time we had 2 inches and I had just a shade much? So this time I want to go a little bit less. Makes sense, right? Let's see how this will turn out. Back, hold my tinsel up. So we got that done. Pull that forward. I'll tell you what doesn't help, and what I did, I couldn't really tell because I did it quick, exactly where the thread broke. But I'll show you once I trim this off. Okay, we flip her to the side again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put my tinsel here in my muscle holder. It doesn't sound like the rude words I say sometimes. Okay, so when you're tying, if you pull the bobbin straight like this versus pulling like that. So if I'm pulling this way, so I've got a 90-degree angle here, that can, no matter what kind of tip you have, that can sometimes break your thread like that. So much better when you have to pull tight, pull straight. That's a big thing. Another thing is a lot of times these beads, we'll switch back over to the hook. The beads can have a little burr or something on it. That's what I'm saying. I didn't even pay attention to where the thread broke, but I could have nicked it on a little sharp place on the bead. I could have.
You might have nicked it on the hook point.
The hook point, could nicked it on all sorts of stuff. So you see, once again, we've got a nice small purple band there. And just for the heck of it, which one did I just tie? It might have been this one, maybe. So you can see a difference in the color of the body. It's not much of a difference. No, that's a purple one tied before this show. I was like, dang it, doesn't look much different. This might be it. I don't think it is, but we'll try it anyway. So that's it. One on top is red. This was purple. So you can see the body's a little bit different just because the thread's different. And obviously the collar around them is different color as well. So I thought I'd tie 2 or 3 of these, have these in my box and try those and see if they worked. They're really the same. I'm telling you, these, if you don't have these in your box, we'll do one in a size 18 real quick.
While you're setting that up, I want to share Ricky's pictures that he sent.
Okay.
And he sent 3, and these are really good. That one was a little blurry. And then I like this one on the little electrical things, whatever you call those. Circuit
electrical
clipper testers. Yeah. Very nice. So let's do one. Would you do more and then draw?
Sure. We'll do one more then draw. We'll do this one just in standard color.
All right. So I've got Ricky's name in there. I've got MK's name in there and everybody else that submitted one.
So you got the.
Yep.
Do this.
I'm going to let you do it.
I mean, did you put them in
I
here?
put them in. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so flat my thread again, and like I said, this is a size 18. The bead is a 2.3 millimeter bead. Now, what's interesting is this is a 2.3 millimeter, and this, see if I can show it to you just right. Okay, look quick. Shoot. This is a 2.3 millimeter bead here. They look similar, but they're not. This one's a little bit bigger, just different brands. So this brand works better on smaller hook. Trust me. So pull off our things on whose booth are you going to be in next week. We're going to be at the Renzetti booth or the Mayfly Outdoors booth for Friday morning at 10 to 12. Saturday morning 10 to 12, and then Sunday 2 till 4, I think. And then we're going to be at Renomed, I think Friday from 2 to 4, I think. I think that's right. What is that noise? Katie's doing something over there. All right, so we're going to use our same stuff. And at Jeff's booth, Katie, do you use a photo box from taking your pit fly photos? Good question, Bill. Katie, you want to show that real quick while I'm wrapping this size 18? Now, the important thing to show on this 18 is I'm using the same size tinsel.
There it is. It's behind me. See? It's a light box. And I've got 2 lights on each side. You can see one of them over here where the pink is. And then inside here is that platform, black platform inside the box. I also have a clear one too.
Thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're coming back up. Remember to cover up. Make sure that you got all the Flashabou, your Flashabou, your tinsel, everything covered up. It doesn't be perfect. It's just a little bit showing, but for the most part, you want it covered. Let's see. We'll definitely be in Jeff's booth as well. Could y'all get a picture together?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. Joe doesn't really like taking pictures with Jeff and I because we're
he does too.
Tall dudes.
We'll get a box for him.
I'm just kidding. We'll get a box.
Yeah, box. Prop him up on a box.
Oh yes. And Katie too. Gregor's also on Katie too. No, I don't think. Katie, did you get that one on that box, that fly box on Amazon?
I don't know. You got that for me a long time ago.
I think that one came from B&H, but I can't.
But you can get them on Amazon just like that.
Definitely get light boxes on Amazon for sure.
It's not one of the super expensive kinds. It's just, it folds up. It's like cloth material, kind of.
Don't get the one. Well, get whichever ones you want. I mean, a light box is better than no light box, but I'm not a big fan of the ones that have the lights built into them. They're simple, they're easy, but they're not quite as versatile. So you don't have as much control of the lights. So those, what brand are the lights you have on the side of it? Do you remember? We got a pack had 3 of those lights, and Katie can show them to you in a second when I get done with this awesome fly. Let's put Joe on a couple box. Going to the disco together. Yes, we are. And Jeff, we had to change our flight arrangements because we're asked to go to, I'll look it up if you remind me, to some tying thing for Thursday night. So we're getting there a little bit earlier than we had said before. So I think we'd land at like 1 something. It's from 5 till 8, I think, Thursday night. And then we're going out with you guys Saturday night, I believe. I think, I don't know what we're doing Friday night. All right, so that looks good so far. Little size 18 in the books. Newer. So that's a inexpensive brand you can get on Amazon. It's a 3-pack, I think 3 withstands, the lights that you can control the intensity and the color. 3 of them are like $100 or something. So I mean, they're not cheap, but I mean for what you're getting, it's a pretty good value. But like I said, it gives you the ability to change stuff around. So we'll switch over to the side or to the fly itself. So here it is done. So remember the things to watch out for. Number 1, the tail. Make sure your tail is not super long. So keep it. It needs to be the length of the body itself. Is my recommendation. So keep it short. Which that is very. I mean, look at my thumb. That's really small. And yeah, make sure you put enough dubbing so your little thread band doesn't cover it all up, but don't overdo it with the dubbing and overlap those wraps of tinsel, and that'll last a long time. I mean, I can't tell you. I have no idea how long. This was the fly, not this exact one, but last time we were with Jeff Riley, and the fly that I caught the fish on was a Rainbow Warrior, the big one anyway. So as you can see, I fish these a lot. So let's do a quick drawing, shall we?
Let's do it.
And then maybe we'll tie one more. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. Is there 2 or 3 people watching right now, honey?
There's a lot, so just draw.
Okay.
Everybody's been waiting to see.
Everyone who submitted a fly via either emailing us demuthflyfishing@gmail.com or tagging us at Instagram on their picture of their version of the Strangulator. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all the right materials, but tagging at @Demuth_flyfishing on Instagram on the photo, or emailing us at demuthflyfishing@gmail.com. We've got everyone who did it is in this little cup here, and let's see if we can stir them around. As you can see, we had one last person that emailed us. I didn't see it, so Katie got it, showed it, and we've got the one done. So here is our winner. Don't you think I'm cheating here? All right. So, of course, I've got to put my glasses on. Y'all switch over to the camera or the hook vise, Mr. Chasing Feathers. So
Ooh.
print it off. So Mark is the winner. So we'll send this, and there's some swag from Renzetti and Jay Stockard and some hooks from Ahrex. But the cool thing that we found that we want to give away was this right here. Mark, if you don't have this, you've got one now, except it's blue. This is this is the creme de la creme. This is the hackle gauge that everyone wants, or that I always wanted. And when we were probably at the Denver show like 5 or 6 years ago, I picked up a whole like 6 or 7 of them, and we found one left. So, and there's also some coasters from Semper Fly in there as well.
There's some coasters. There's an Ahrex air freshener.
Ooh,
and it's a manly kind of smell too. It's like, I like it. I like it too, but it's more like kind of woodsy, like. And there's a Renzetti sticker, which those are kind of hard to find. And there's some really cool, Ahrex makes really cool stickers. There's a Jay Stockard bandana and a Jay Stockard beanie.
Or as we call them in Tennessee, a toboggan.
Toboggan, yes.
You guys will think we're giving away a Jay Stockard sled.
Right.
Well, Mark, if your truck needs an air freshener, this is a good one for guys.
Yeah,
they're good. Hanging up here. Katie just kind of hits me up with them every now and then. So tie up your variation of the Rainbow Warrior. Tell me what you like. tell me what you don't like. But you caught fish on them. I think a lot of you talking to you already have tied this before and have fished it. It is absolutely a phenomenal pattern. I can't tell you how many fish I've caught on them. Like I said, for me, size 16, then size 18, and then size 14. I don't throw many size 14s, but 16s are probably my go-to size. And it's a great pattern. So if you haven't tied one, give it a whirl. Email them to us so we can share them next time we go live. Tag us on Instagram at Demuth Fly Fishing, and we'll share them. Next week, there's a good chance we'll tie the chubby Chernobyl. We had a request to tie that fly, but there's also a good chance we might not go live next Wednesday night because we'll be getting on a plane very early Thursday morning. And I'll have to have my stuff, my nice little bag that is still remotely packed up from the last show we went to. But I'm about to have all the stuff I'm going to take packed up in my bag here. And I don't know if I'm going to go live next Wednesday night. But still love to see your pictures between now and whenever we see you next. Happy time. Get out there and fish. And I'm going to turn it over to Katie to kick us off.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for tying flies and participating and learning something new tonight. And you guys have a great weekend. See you later.
See you guys. See you, Mike. Adventures with Nibby. Hello. See you, Ken.